With crypto regulation becoming more clear in the United States with the new Trump administration, ISO 222 tokens are bound to do better this cycle than originally anticipated. In today's video, I'm going to go over Quant Overledger and my new price predictions for Quant for this bull run. So hit that like button and let's jump into it. Alright, today we're going to jump into Quant. It's been a while since I've done a Quant video, so I just wanted to get an update out to you guys, let you know that I have adjusted my price strategy for Quant for this bull run, and I just want to go over that with you guys and over some news that's happening with Quant and the Overledger, so let's take a look at it here. Alright, so Quant coming in at number 79, still in the top 100. It has had a rough start to this bull run. It hasn't been doing as well as other coins that are in the ISO 222 range, you know, like XRP and XLM and others. So it's been struggling a little bit, but it's good to see that the price is over $118 currently as of this recording. It did get up to almost $180, I believe, recently here, but it's had a little bit of a pullback, just like a lot of the other coins since Bitcoin dumped from 108,000 down to 95,000 or something like that. So if we take a look at the activity of Quant over the last few months, you can see here it was down to like $59 at one point. A lot of people were messaging me on the YouTube videos and comment section, Dean, what's going on with Quant? I'm worried about Quant. And I just said, you know, relax. Quant will have its time. As you can see, you know, from this $59 price point, even got down to $57 here. Shot up to almost $175 here. I might have hit over that on some charts, but almost a 3x from here. So you can see that when Quant moves, it moves very quickly. So nothing to worry about too much. You know, it's just a matter of when Quant decides to move. If you look at previous cycles with Quant, especially like the last bull run, in the middle of the summer when crypto was dumping in 2021, Quant was one of the only coins that was actually climbing while all the other tokens were dumping. So it just kind of moves when Quant is going to move. No real rhyme or reason to it, but the reason it moved recently because of the positive momentum the ISO 222 tokens had with the news of, you know, a positive SEC chair being put into place, and with Gary Gensler retiring in January. A lot of good things happening in crypto now with the Trump administration coming in and putting some very pro-crypto people in place, that it's given the ISO 222 tokens a chance to thrive potentially in this bull run. So its market cap currently is at $1.7 billion. And if we take a look at the all-time high, and I believe it's like $400 and some dollars, yeah, $427 is the all-time high for Quant. I think we will pass through that this bull run. I think it's going to pass through that pretty quickly once we start taking off into the actual bull run here. Hopefully towards, you know, the beginning of 2025, or, you know, may not happen until the end of 2025. I really don't know how this cycle is going to play out, but I would expect some kind of alt season by March, hopefully in 2025, which would be about 3 months from now. So we'll have to see if that plays out or not. So if we go to their X page here, Quant is no longer using Twitter. Now, there was a bunch of negative posts on Twitter about Quant being real communicative and responding to people on Twitter, stuff like that. And I think there was some kind of problem with Quant and other people mimicking them or something on Twitter, and they got upset about it, so they haven't really used Twitter a whole lot. Now they're using Blue Sky instead, which I don't use Blue Sky, so I'm not really up to date on the posts with Quant. I took a look at the Blue Sky app here, and basically they're just posting about regular stuff that's going on with Quant. No major news recently with Quant, just basic stuff, but I do have some stuff I want to cover in this video after we go over the price action here. So if we take a look at the chart with Quant, you can see we moved all the way from this $54 price point and hit all the way up to $171 or so on this chart. And you can see that we had a pullback here. If we take a measurement of this, we'll take a measurement from the top here all the way down to this wick. So that was basically almost a 45% correction, basically a 45% correction on Quant recently here. So now is probably a good time to start dollar cost averaging into it if you're looking to add some to your portfolio. For the longest time, if you look at the history on this, you know, it was at right around $100. It got down to like 80 some dollars back here in October 2023, but for the longest time it was right around $100, kind of like a stable coin, people were calling it. And then it had this big crash, which got a lot of people worried. It was a great buying entry for those who took advantage of it. I was adding other coins to my portfolio, so I didn't add any more Quant, but it would have been a good time to buy when we had this dump down into the 60s. But people were worried about it, so a lot of people didn't scoop any up. I think it's going to do okay. I'm going to go over my new price predictions because I have adjusted them based off of its price activity so far in this cycle. So the only real news with Quant recently is the Quant Smart Audit. Basically, their blockchain advisory team that is going to do smart audits for projects out there that are, wanting to adopt, crypto with their business, and they're going to do a smart audit for them. This is basically experts in critical infrastructure for blockchain technology that helps do smart audits for people, for smart contracts and stuff. It helps businesses understand where they're lacking in their business with blockchain technology, what could help them, where their weaknesses are, and so on. So this is a pretty cool thing that Quant is doing. One of the many things that Quant is doing really for the financial sector. And this isn't just for the financial sector. Anyways, there's many more uses to this. I'll play a quick video on this, and you guys could take a quick look at this and what the smart audit is and what its benefits are.
Blockchain's really powerful. Across financial services, innovation teams are proving its ability to unlock liquidity by creating digital money and assets that are smart, secure, and seamlessly connect to existing systems and new networks. And it's ushering new efficiencies and revenue lines in all sorts of industries. But what's often hard is going from proof of concept to production. What happens when security, compliance, and enterprise-grade infrastructure become key considerations? You have to think carefully and deeply about issues like interoperability and scalability. That's where Quant Smart Audit comes in. Quant Smart Audit is our new blockchain advisory service. We look in detail at your project, your requirements, and the outcomes you're trying to achieve. Then provide the expert advice and actionable insights you need to make informed decisions about implementing blockchain. It's delivered by the same team of Quant experts who worked on the Bank of England's exploration of a digital pound, and more recently, the UK Regulated Liability Network. You couldn't have a more experienced team advising you on your project.
So I'm not going to play any more of that, but you guys get the picture on this. They have an very experienced team that worked with the Bank of England on this that is providing the services for the smart audit. So really cool of Quant to do that. One of the many services they're providing with the Quant Overledger for financial systems and other businesses as well. Pretty much any business now that works, seamlessly with the Quant Overledger technology. So this article here is from October, but I do want to cover it real quick in this video. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but digital transformation in banking, financial services, and insurance, the future of money here. So earlier in October, the European finance professionals gathered in Amsterdam for digital transformation at the BFSI event. Basically, their product officer, Martin Hargreaves, delivered a keynote presentation for the future of money. They believe that tokenized money, secure and programmable, will allow commercial banks to build new products and create new revenue lines and simplify existing processes, because the way banks work now, things are extremely slow. It takes days for transactions to actually finalize with banks. That's why, when you deposit a check, it takes several days to actually clear your account. When you make a payment, it takes days to clear. And when you transfer money, sometimes there's a hold on it for, a day or so before it's actually transferred. Even if you're moving it from one account to the next and you just had a recent deposit in your account, the money isn't fully cleared because it's got to go through all these background processes through the banks to get the physical money transferred from bank to bank in the background. It's a huge mess. And that's why crypto and blockchain technology is so much more advanced than what the banks are currently using. So Quant is ready to help these financial institutions adopt these processes and use, even if it's stable coins, but use the Overledger with multiple different payment systems with multiple different blockchains in there. Quant can use XRP, it can use Ethereum, it can use all the different blockchain technologies with its Overledger and seamlessly integrate them all together. And it can actually, transfer tokens from one chain to the next, and it'll burn them in the background, so there's no risk of the tokens being hacked. So there's a lot of really interesting things that the Quant Overledger can do that other financial sectors for crypto Web3 technologies cannot do. The Quant Overledger really is the expert in this field, and I think that's one of the reasons why over the long term Quant Overledger and the Quant project with the QNT token is going to do really well. I think it's more of a long-term investment than potentially a short-term investment. So we're going to go over my new price predictions for Quant. I have adjusted them just because of the the way that the token has been moving or not moving as well as I'd liked it to in this cycle. And you have to be flexible. You cannot be married to your coins. You cannot be married to any price point. If a coin is not performing as well as you would like it to, and we're already into the cycle a good amount, you just really need to adjust your strategy, kind of go from there. So I have adjusted my price targets. Some of you are going to disagree with these. That's fine. These are the price targets that I would personally use, and it's just my personal thoughts on this. Do what you think is best for you and your portfolio, and do your own research and your own price targets for your coins. I'm not an expert and I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what Quant is going to do. I can only tell you what my strategy is currently, and I may adjust this based off from how it performs or doesn't perform over the next several months here. So we'll take a look at it. So if I had 50 Quant, for example, I would probably sell 10% of that around $440. That would get out, potential price of $2,200. Now that's not going to be like my entire initial investment out, depending on what price you bought it at. If you bought it at $60, if you bought it at $120, or if you bought it somewhere in between, depends on what your dollar cost average is in Quant. But you may need to sell more than 10%. You may need to sell 20 or 30% in order to get your initial investment out. That's up to you and what you want to do personally. But I would probably sell about 10% around the $440 before it gets to that $450 mark. Maybe even around the $400 mark before it gets to its previous all-time high. So that's kind of how I would do that, and then I would wait till potentially $640. If it reached to that range, somewhere in that range, a little over $600, I would probably cash out another 20% of the token. So basically 10 Quant out of the 50 is what I would sell. That would get me about $6,400. Then I would sell another 10 Quant out of the original 50 at around the $740 mark before it hits $750, because that could be a psychological level at the $750 mark. That would give me about $7,400 in profit potentially, and then I would sell another 20%, probably before $1,000, right around that $940 mark approximately. Doesn't have to be exact, but somewhere before the $1,000 mark, because that is going to be a huge psychological level with Quant, and it may not actually reach it. Crypto has a way of stopping right before those rounded numbers and not reaching them, because the people sell because they're trying to beat other people from selling at that same price point. So it never really hits, may not hit that $1,000 mark. That's why I would sell at $940 for an example. May not even get this high. We don't know. May only get to $400 or $500 this bull run, or it may do extremely well and get over $2,000. But these are my price targets personally as of right now. So I would probably sell the last 10 tokens and leave 5 for a moon bag, and that the last 20% or 10 Quant tokens I'd sell around the $1,240 mark before that $1,250 mark, maybe right around $1,200 or $1,190 or whatever. And I would get out around $12,000 in profit at that point, and then I'd leave a 10% moon bag in case it does better than that. But I would probably sell that at before the $1,500 mark at a little over $1,400, depending on where we're at in the cycle too. That's going to be a big factor. If we hit this early, but we'll see what happens here over the next few months with Quant. Potentially over the next 4 months by the end of April, probably have a pretty good idea of how it might do. But then again, last cycle it didn't really perform until around September of the bull run year after the halving. So it may not be until September that Quant really starts taking off. So either way, not a big, if it's not a big part of your portfolio, really doesn't matter. You could hold it longer if you want to and wait to see how it does towards the end of 2025 potentially. But just remember, there's no guarantee that the bull run will continue till the end of 2025. So you do have to be careful. The cycles seem to end a little bit earlier each time. So, but yeah, maybe $1,500 this bull run is kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Now, I could be completely off and it may do much, much better than this, but I do want to be safe this bull run. I don't want to be, guessing, high numbers and these coins don't reach it, and then I didn't take my profits out, kind of like what happened last cycle. I thought certain coins were going to do much better than what they actually did, and then I basically never reached those price targets, and then the market dumped and I didn't take any profits out. So this time around I'm going to be more careful, and that's up to you what you guys want to do. But my biggest message to you guys out there is don't be greedy. If you're greedy in crypto, that's how you lose. Over 90% of people lose in crypto because they're greedy and they want to wait for these certain price targets before they take any profits out. Really doesn't matter what the prices are. If it's increasing in price, take a little bit out. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. If it's 5, 10, 20%, 25% or whatever. And if you're doing well and you got good profits, there's nothing wrong with taking some profits out. But that's pretty much what I wanted to cover in this video, guys. Wanted to get a Quant update out to you. Hope you liked this video. Let me know know in the comments section below what your price targets are for Quant this bull run. I really would love to hear from you guys what you think Quant will do this cycle and why you think it's going to do those price targets, because everybody has a certain idea, and if you get a collective idea of what people think coin could do and then maybe do an average on it, maybe get a better picture of what it could potentially do. Just want to get your thoughts out there. Leave your price predictions in the comments section below. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button. We'll see you on the next video.